Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at positioning this week at DTL, and today specifically we're going to look at positioning in singles at the baseline. All right, we're going to look at that in two ways. One is laterally, moving across the court and positioning, and vertical positioning, both up and back. So let's look at lateral first, which I think tends to be in singles the more important thought between the two. What we're trying to avoid today with today's lesson is especially for all you singles players at the club level, is this idea that directly behind the hash mark in the center of the court is home base all the time. You see this a lot. No matter where that opponent is when they're striking the ball, this player feels like, okay, I'll be in the middle. That is perfectly okay if my opponent is hitting from where Mark is hitting now. Because as we know in the center, he can't create great angles either this way or this way. So being in the center of the court when he's striking from there is perfect. But what we want to look at with this lateral positioning is when he's more in an extreme spot, either to the deuce side or to the ad side. So what I'm going to do, Mark, I'm going to move you over pretty close to the single sideline. Great. Okay, so he's hitting the ball from there. The two extremes where his ball would cross the baseline would be an up the line ball. Go ahead, Mark, hit one through. Perfect. So let's say that goes in. That ball's coming through right about here. Okay, and as we know, a down the line ball moves in a straight line. The other extreme would be he hits cross court with probably some angle on it, and as that ball crosses, it's out here. So the idea with lateral positioning, with the extreme of where my opponent is to center myself between these 2 points where the ball crosses. So as you can see, if I'm right in the middle of the court, that ball over there is much farther away from me than this ball here. So if I saw my opponent hitting from where Mark is, I would actually shade to my right to about here to now leave myself equal distance between these two shots. And to be honest, a lot of players with that righty forehand, this ball has a little bit of hook spin on it. It'll actually bounce and maybe drift slightly inward. So I could probably, especially if Mark spins that cross-court ball a little more, I could probably favor even a little more to this side just in case his cross-court forehand takes off. So for all of you out there that are a little more specific, need a little more direction, I've always thought that for every 3 steps or so that my opponent goes outward, I'm going to take 1 step in the opposite direction for my baseline positioning in the lateral sense. So if it's 6 steps out, let's say he gets out past that single sideline, I'm actually going this way a little more. And that leaves me a 50% distance between his 2 options. And obviously the same would be true if he got out to that wide spot on the ad side. Now I've got to respect that the backhand cross court can take off this way more, and I, out of my maybe centered position at the start of the rally, would start to shade this way to leave myself an equal distance between his down the line and his cross court ball. That to me is a very important idea, because at the club level we just see it over and over that no matter where that opponent is hitting from, it's like, oh, I got to get to the center of the court. Absolutely not. A great example of this before we get into that vertical is return a serve, right? If I take a backhand return from the ad side, hit it really nice cross court over there, there's so many players that leave here and race to the center. And I'm just always like, where are you going? Just move a little bit over, almost bait that player to hit an up the line backhand. And if they go cross court like they should, you're in a really nice position after having to hit a return a serve, which, let's be honest, is nobody's favorite shot, okay? So really important idea there with the lateral positioning. Now with vertical, which is the up and back. I'm taller. I play a little bit more out of an Eastern grip, a little flatter. I like that. I like that feeling of hugging the baseline a little more. So my vertical kind of home base, so to speak, is maybe a little closer to the baseline than probably I even coach most of my players. But if you're out there not as tall as me, maybe a little more of a semi-Western grip, and you like this spot, awesome. What I've always thought is you have to be able to adjust your vertical positioning now based on the quality of your own shot. We don't worry about what the opponent's doing. We figure out if we need to maybe back up vertically or move in vertically based on how we hit the ball. All right, so an example of that would be if I'm in my comfortable, vertical position and I hit a weak ball to mark and I stay here, he's coming in to attack. I'm leaving myself no space or time to handle what's likely to be a pretty big ball. So the quality of my shot there dictated I've got to leave that spot and vertically position back. And the same would be true if I'm in that spot, rip something a little bit bigger. Now it might be very appropriate to step up onto the baseline, if not a little inside, because my shot now damaged mark and I should be coming forward. All right, so those are two really important ideas in singles, both lateral positioning and vertical positioning. Never have that just 100% got to be in the middle of the court lateral position, and don't hang on too much to where you're comfortable starting vertically. Always base moving up or back on how well or how poorly you hit your shot. All right? So that's all I got for you today. Hope that was super helpful. We've got more on positioning coming this week at DTL, but until then, please click like below this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well. We'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.